The church is people. It's not a building, it's not an organization, it's people. It's people coming together to worship God. It's people going out into the world to serve and to save the world. And it's people that are madly in love with God. The people of the story of University Drive Alliance Church are those type of people. There was a lady, Mavis Weidman. She was instrumental in bringing an Alliance evangelist down from Calgary back in 1940 to the Trianon Hall. This is where it all started. And if you think there was Reverend Cunningham, he was the first pastor of this church, and he led the church through numerous transitions. In fact, he moved the church meeting place 5 times before they built and they resided in what is now Alpenland. There was Reverend Monroe, the church that was leading this church when they had this incredible vision to move to the west side. You have to understand, the west side had about only 4,000 people in it when they moved here. 1978, the university was brand new and there wasn't that many people here. Reverend Monroe led and built this church and moved the congregation here because they felt that this was the area that would experience the most growth in the next few years. There's a baby in the nursery right now. You might even hear it crying. It's this baby that's being prayed for by his parents, and it's this baby that could grow up to be an amazing leader in this very church. It's this baby that's going to be a huge leader and take huge risks, huge leaps of faith for God, because he believes in a God that has no boundaries. There's this junior or senior high student, and they're starting to see the potential that God has given them. They're starting to see the gifts that God has given them. And they're starting to pray and ask God, how can I make a difference? Not in my only community, but in the whole world. There's a university student in this very church right now that is starting to realize what God has called him or her to do in this world. And they're going to university to become better people, and so they can go out into the world and impact every part of the world in the way that God has called them to do. There's a mature, committed follower of Christ, and they realize that sitting there is just not going to cut it anymore. They need to do something. They need to be stretched past the point of no return. And then there is you. You are the church. You are God's plan. We need to be a people that respond in faith to God's call in our life. We need to be a people that are willing and able to serve God. Coming up soon on Over the Horizon Sunday, we're going to give you a special opportunity to give, which we do twice a year. As a church, we long to grow, to expand, and to make a difference in this community. And so what we ask you to do is to pray and to consider how much God would have you give. And then simply just give that amount, not $1 less or $1 more. As a church, if we do this with God's vision and our hands, we can continue to be a church that reaches, teaches, and equips people to know, love, and serve God.